Bachelor Nation, will you accept this rose? We love you. Love is in the air. It's magic. 'Cause love is on the air. On TV. So love is on the air. Podcast. It's a podcast. Podcast. Love is in the air. It's magic. 'Cause love is on the air. On TV. So love is on the air. A podcast. It's a podcast. Andy, Liv, Sarah, and Glenn. Bachelor Pod. It's the Bachelor Pod. It's a podcast about The Bachelor.
The Bachelor Pod starts now.
Bachelor Nation, welcome to the only Bachelor podcast on the internet and on the World Wide Web. This is The Bachelor Pod, where four people, two married couples who are actually in love, talk about the best show about love on TV, and this is the only podcast about it.
Yeah.
Hello.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, that is true.
Yeah.
There's only one you need.
No,
Yeah,
but there is.
exactly.
We're the only one, and we're the number one in the world.
Yeah, the only
we are-
one and number one.
We're the number one in the entire world.
Yeah.
We just, because we're so popular and huge, we just got a Nike sponsorship, so they're on board. So they joined McDonald's, Disney, and
Coca-Cola?
Apple. Coca-Cola, of course.
Chris Harrison. Chris
Tide.
Harrison sponsors it.
Yeah.
Yeah, personally, after this, we're headed to the Maldives, just for a quick little getaway. But we rigged up cable there, of course, obviously, all the bells and whistles. So don't even worry about that.
We rigged up cable there?
Well, we had our people rig up.
You mean
cable.
like to watch TV
The Bachelor,
or like
yeah.
we made like cable cars?
Well, we an offshoot of our company that also makes cables sort of facilitated that. We basically own everything.
Lucky's Cables. That's the name of our cable company.
Yeah. We thought it was good luck.
Yeah.
Sort of name it after luck itself. So
Yeah, that's right.
sort of where we arrived. Now, as for the name of our podcast, we named it the Bachelor Pod because there used to be a show called The Bachelor Pad, which turned into Bachelor in Paradise, which turned into ?
What?
Which turned again to Bachelor in Paradise.
That's a beautiful segue.
Yeah, that was a good segue. I think that's one of my strong points. If I was a character in Mario Kart, I would be 5 out of 5 on segues. Folks, we got to talk about the latest on the Bachelor in Paradise controversy, which is the show is back on.
Can't believe it.
Can't believe
I
it.
had a feeling it was happening. I talked to Andy about it because I was reading like just a regular daily shitty Subway newspaper here in Toronto, and they had it in their things to watch for the summer, and it was done like yesterday they had it in it, and the night before would have been when they're like, still might happen. So I was like, well, if CTV or wherever it's on still, it's global? What's City TV?
City, yeah.
If City TV still thinks it might happen, then
Good point,
they
yeah.
haven't been told. And then just the way Chris Harrison was talking about it, I'm like, if it was like a huge thing and it was canceled, he would have said it by now. And then it came back.
Yeah, so what happened with our scoop there? What do we think? You think it was canceled for a period and then they really investigated the video and then decided against it or what?
I mean, our scoop was from the Corinne camp.
Right.
So I'm sure on that side of things, and I'm sure it's probably, I don't think Corinne's going to change her story or anything, but I believe that they probably still believe that something bad happened and that it wouldn't bounce back. But I guess Warner Brothers lawyers reviewed this tape. Thankfully, I guess, I don't know, thankfully, but everything was on tape. They reviewed the tape. They figured nothing went wrong. I'm sure they did all their due diligence. Obviously, they had to avoid any further legal complications. And then, today it was revealed that they thought it wasn't bad enough that they're going to get everyone back and do the show. And then Reality Steve said that it's going to come back, but it might not be back as Bachelor in Paradise, I think.
Seems
it
to
might
me
come
like
back rebranded.
Yeah, it seems to me like at this point they're probably just fine with bringing it back as Bachelor in Paradise, though.
I think
why change it at this point?
Yeah.
The statement, if you read Warner Brothers' statement, it seems like it's coming back, but it's coming back as Bachelor in Paradise is what it seems, but it's coming back with more regulations and more things put in place for the people that are there, protection-wise. And it's still happening this summer. So I doubt they would be rebranding something that's still happening around the same time.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, and if I mean, depending on what happens with Corinne after this, if that sort of side of things sort of remains quiet, then by the time August rolls around, I mean, a large chunk of people are going to just have forgotten it. Well, not forgotten, but the controversy will be sort of swept under the rug, I figure, which is bad.
Do you think they're going to edit her out completely, or
It was
'cause
only she was only there for a day.
Yeah.
When this stopped, so I doubt they'll show any of her stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
I don't expect Demario and her to be back.
no?
They're not showing the video of what happened. They've already said that. They're like, that
Right.
won't be shown. So what else is there? If you can't show what happened to her, then
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised if they just start new.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking too. Yeah.
I think that's really their only recourse at this point. And I mean, really, I guess the big question now is where does this leave Demario and Corinne, especially Corinne, because, I mean, the takeaway from it is that, well, that's basically Warner Brothers saying she's lying or it wasn't as bad as she said it was.
I feel
But
like
I mean-
there's been more discussion between the two camps than what we would ever know about.
Oh,
There's
definitely,
no doubt
100%.
that Universal has talked to Corinne and maybe they just came to some kind of thing behind closed doors.
Right.
I don't see it as them saying she was lying. I see them seeing and watching the video and being like, oh, well, they must have seen the video and nothing illegal happened because
Right.
otherwise they wouldn't be doing this because they have like video evidence. It's not like in one of these cases where it's he said, she said, there is a videotape.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the only thing the video doesn't show, obviously, is what Corinne was thinking through this whole time.
Right.
We were talking about this a bit before, and it's like, well, I mean, she could have not been in control of her actions. She could have been wasted and blacked out, and you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, even if she did look lucid, as a lot of people said, doesn't mean that she was fully in control of what was happening.
Yeah, which sort of comes back to the whole drunken consent versus
Yeah.
consent thing, which is a sort of a hot legal topic right now. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty fucked up still. It remains fucked up.
Yeah, I was talking to Andy about it too, as before you guys were chatting. And the only thing I'm thinking is that they're just such a big company and there is this video. There just must be stuff we just don't know. Because all of it's been hearsay on either side. So I'm hoping it's because even if like she thought it was worse, but maybe even for her sake, because it's better for her if this didn't happen to her. It's better for
Exactly,
her
yeah.
mental well-being. So maybe she even like because there was stuff that was and I don't think she was lying or anything like that, obviously, but she even I think there was some fights that happened and some other stuff that happened that we don't even know about that like people have been alluding to.
Yeah.
That she
Yeah.
was
There's
pissed
so
off
much
because
we
they
don't
cut her
know.
off and all this stuff.
As we mentioned before we started rolling, we were like, this kind of explains a lot of the cast's reaction,
Yeah.
who were there and who saw all this go down, right?
Yeah, there's a big thing that they cut Corinne off, and Corinne got really mad, and she said stuff like, "Watch me, watch what I'll
Right.
do.
I mean,
Yeah.
cut her
Watch,
off.
watch what I'll do." ABC apparently was her quote. So
Yeah.
like, if she did say that, then who knows what then went down, right? Like
I mean, they tried
Yeah.
to cut her off from drinking, right?
they tried to cut her
Yeah,
off from
yeah.
drinking that night, and
Yes.
she got upset with them.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I don't want to speculate or anything, but it's
Yeah.
odd that anyone who claims to be an eyewitness seemed to be on the side of ABC and Warner. That well, before Warner announced that whatever it's going back on, it had all seemed to be like they had a grudge against her. But I don't know.
Well,
Who knows, man?
yeah, we'll all-
it's
yeah.
going to be a weird time.
I feel like in the next few weeks, months, we'll hopefully get some more details and
Yeah, there'll be enough loose lips out there who got wind of the video, and we're still reaching out to our sources to try to get more info. So when we learn that, we'll fucking let you know.
oh yeah.
And hopefully Corinne comes out and says something that makes everyone feel better.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would
I would
that
like
would do it.
just to know that she's okay with this.
Yeah,
if
that's the
she's
thing.
okay with this happening, then
Yeah.
everybody else would feel more comfortable. It's
Yeah,
kind
right.
of
Even
yeah.
still, out of all this, if they go on with the show and it turns out there was no wrongdoing really, like you still got to feel bad for Corinne. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
Big
Oh,
time.
I do for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, right. Like it's still something that Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
that's
even
what
if it
she
turns
said.
out ultimately that it's kind of, I don't know, whatever. Not what everyone was thinking. The bottom line is she came out of it in a pretty rough spot, and
Yeah.
I would hope that the people who work for the show and who are there kind of have like some compassion
I
towards
think
her
they
for
do.
that.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's what's kind of going down behind closed doors. That
Yeah,
we're not seeing.
maybe that's what all this was, right?
It
Maybe
must
this all
be,
was that,
because
making really sure that everything was okay.
If
Who
she was
knows?
still charging them or saying that this happened, I don't see how they could go on with the show. I just
Oh,
don't see
yeah, for
legally how
sure.
they could do it.
Yeah.
So there
Yeah,
must
I
be something
agree,
that's
totally,
gone
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Also,
Definitely.
she came out with a statement because Evan and Carly still got married
Oh yeah, that's right.
in
Yeah.
Mexico. So when I saw that too, I was like, I think it's coming back. Like if Chris Harrison is their guy, they got all their rings from Neil Lane. I'm like, the show wouldn't put forward this much money if it wasn't being filmed. I don't see.
And
them
they at
doing
least wouldn't like they might have filmed it, but they wouldn't have publicized it, kind of thing. I don't think they would have
They
been like, well,
didn't,
let's keep this
though.
in the can. Oh yeah, that's true.
They didn't
Yeah.
publicize
I
it.
guess it just
People
came out,
sent
yeah.
a picture out. But Corinne came out with a thing. She's like, she basically, well, like a source of hers or whatever came out. So basically her. She was just like, I feel bad. I'm glad that they got to have their wedding because I'm kind of embarrassed with everything that's going on. And I wouldn't want to ruin their time. So it's like, I feel like she's starting to feel like, I feel like everyone is like figuring this out after the fact. I hope.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure, like Liv said, I'm sure things are going to be leaked in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
And I hope, here's another great segue, I hope it doesn't overshadow from this season of The Bachelorette, starring Rachel Lindsay, because it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of dumb-ass producer meddling drama, especially on this episode.
And there hasn't been a rose ceremony at the end of the episode since episode 1.
Yeah, there's another one at the beginning of this one. But yeah, general thoughts on this week, everybody. We had a week off there thanks to the NBA Finals, but we are back, and next week there's a double episode. So yeah, what are you guys thinking?
I was kind of like, whatever. I mean, sure, there was some drama during this episode, but there wasn't much of an episode. We barely got through 2 dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
group
it's
date
just-
took a long ass time with Iggy and all
Oh,
that.
it was
Ugh.
just, I'm
Yeah.
tired of seeing Iggy be Iggy, and
Iggy sucks.
everyone's yelling at each other all the time. And it
There's
Yeah.
just still there's so much more fat to be cut, so it's just like, ugh,
Yeah.
enough with you people. Let's get on with the love, okay?
Yeah, and we had
And-
the week off last week, and then this week was like, oh, well, this was nothing. So what's
Yeah.
going on? This is
And
annoying.
I think the really frustrating part, and we were talking about this at work with some people today, is that the people causing the drama, Lee and Iggy, have no fucking shot
No.
at all. They're too like
Yeah.
dud, fucking
I
I'm
love the
just
drama,
frustrated because
man.
there's a lot of good guys on this show.
I know.
You guys know me. I love the drama. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, I know.
I like
That's
the
what I'm here
drama
for.
too, but it just
I
felt
love
like
it.
nothing happened.
I,
this
I
episode.
I agree that like it's better when it's over like the span of something happening and it's
Yeah.
involving the show almost, whereas this is just petty
Racism.
garbage. Iggy
Yeah.
is come on, Iggy, what are you doing, man?
Ugh.
Come on.
I was saying the big word
He's
in
the
this
worst.
episode.
And Lee is just a piece of garbage, man. The
Yeah.
guy, like even if he wasn't the racist we all suspect and basically know that he is, just his like smiling at guys who are angry, it's like fuck
Oh, I
you,
hate that
man.
so much.
That's
Well,
the worst.
As Liv pointed out, one of the biggest things an asshole says is, "I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I'm just being
Oh,
honest."
It's yeah, absolutely.
If
It's
you
like,
say that constantly, you're an asshole.
yeah.
yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry,
also-
yeah, I hate to break it to you, but you're an asshole.
I also feel the word disingenuous is just them saying he's racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
Well,
kept
Dean
saying that
said it
word.
without saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, yeah.
Who was
Dean
it?
said-
Dean pointed it
Dean
out.
was
yeah.
the closest to actually saying it.
Yeah, but they all just kept saying disingenuous about him, and I'm like, you all just want to say he's racist, and you're trying to pick a word that isn't racist, so
Yeah.
you're saying disingenuous.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. As always, the controversy sort of carried over from last week in what was another big letdown, even though they try to tease us that something huge is going to happen. And that was Eric dealing with Lee. And it turns out Eric just sort of, I mean, I wouldn't say calmly, but sort of tried to just say, look, man, you worry about you. I'm going to worry about me. Don't say shit. And then Lee just kind of laughed in his face, provoked him some more. And then what happened? Then Kenny got in with Lee.
Yeah.
They started screaming at each other. Again, Lee egging him on purpose. Rachel heard it. Had a good interview. Blah 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 blah. And then we had a rose ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, Kenny, he felt really bad after all that stuff.
He took the bait.
He did take the bait, and that sucks.
And he realized that after. You could tell. He was like, oh, I let him get to me. Why did I do that? I'm like, yes, you're right.
Yeah, his sort of later on in the episode when he explains what happened to Rachel, he was so eloquent there, and he really laid it out. He's like, yeah, he was being completely honest in a good way, not Lee's kind of honesty.
Exactly.
But,
there's a difference there.
Yeah, exactly. And it sucks because he took a few steps down in my own personal rankings. Meanwhile, Dean sort of skyrocketed up the charts in this episode. So
hard to argue with Dean's performance in this one. Yep.
Oh, very hard to argue.
I've done a 180 on Dean.
Yeah.
Gotta say.
Yeah, he seems to have it all. And there were a lot of, throughout this whole controversy about B&P, a lot of posts on Reddit about how Dean is just a lovely person on social media. There's a video on Alex's Instagram with him and Dean that's extremely cute.
And Dean's handle on Instagram is Deanie Babies. I mean, come on.
It's a great handle.
Come on.
Sarah thinks it's just okay.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, no, your face in the video.
Oh, I'm just listening.
Yeah. So in the rose ceremony, this sort of got swept under the rug with everything else that's going on, but. Brady and Bryce, no surprise there. The chipmunk and the guy in the $2,000 suit, I think.
No, he went like last rose ceremony.
Whatever. He looks the same. But we said goodbye to Diggy, who I think a lot of people, if you were to ask people in Bachelor Nation who they had in pools, I wouldn't be surprised if Diggy was up there for a lot of people.
Did I not choose Diggy as one of my guys?
I don't think so.
You did. You're number 3. Yeah.
He was my number 3.
I will cross that out right now.
He just didn't show up to play, man. He just was outshined by some bigger personalities, and
he was too concerned with Glass's choice.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and those choices were bad because they always looked too small for his
face.
face.
They looked way too small for his face. And then when you saw him without them, it was like, you're a different guy without those glasses, man.
Like, dude, I have that struggle. You can overcome it. You just have to find the right frame.
Yeah, and I had to be honest with Liv every time she'd try on a pair of frames. I'm like, those just don't work. And it took her a really long time to find them. Meanwhile, Diggy's reaching left and right, just pulling frames off the shelf with no regard for the size of his face.
And I don't even know if he needs them.
Yeah,
imagine if he doesn't and he just wears them for fashion and they don't fit his face.
Glasses that are too small.
Fan of that.
Very
it's like show me a Diggy with no frames and no bow tie, and I think I'm going to see a different Diggy.
Diggy needs a bit of a make under, I think.
Yeah.
I don't mind the bow tie. I don't mind the bow tie. Like that's kind of a fashion choice. It always matches and stuff. It's just and it fits his neck fine. It's those frigging glasses. But that's not why he left. It's not because of how he looks. It's just because there was no connection. But
yeah, he just didn't have the time. And I don't think he was as aggressive as the other guys. And in this early going, unless you're a total beefcake, you got to make time.
Yeah.
He should have just
moves early.
Yelled at her when one of his grandparents died as she walked by. And maybe he would have stayed on.
Yeah.
We've always said on this podcast, you got to drop some personal info in that first couple weeks.
Got to get real fast.
Yeah. So goodbye, Diggy. Goodbye, Bryce. Goodbye, Brian. We probably are not going to miss you. Maybe we'll see you in paradise one day. Who knows?
Brian's still around.
Oh, sorry.
Brady.
Lee has got to be at this point. Lee was a producer pick, right, to stay?
Yeah,
for sure.
Has to be.
And now we know. I'm going to give a little spoiler to the end of this episode, but we find out that in, I guess an episode next week at some point, Kenny and Lee go on a 2-on-1. And I'm sorry, but now I know that the producers pick the dates because there is no way that every season the Bachelorette chooses the two guys that have the biggest feud to go on a 2-on-1. It happens every season now. And it's just disappointing. And hearing that they were trying to get Corinne and what's his name? Demario together. And I was like, oh, so you guys, they push it way more than I thought they did.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the, obviously not the worst thing to happen in the BNP controversy, but it really magnified the producer meddling, and it's it is making it a little more difficult to watch even just The
Yeah.
Bachelorette
Yeah.
because
It tainted it for me.
yeah, like
Me
are
too.
you kidding? Lee and Iggy, you bet she prefers those two over even say Brady or Bryce or
Yeah.
Dee? Like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
I
She seemed
know.
to be having a great time with Bryce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pretty much every time on those orchestrated 2-on-1s, it's like, okay, well, we know the bigger asshole is gonna go home. Let's just
Yeah.
wait for it.
It's
and that's
usually-
probably what's gonna happen this
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's they gotta watch after this whole thing that's happened and some stuff coming out. They gotta change stuff up.
I would hope so.
I think people are getting frustrated with the old stuff that they just keep doing every single season.
Yeah.
They need to switch stuff up. They need
getting
to
a little
change
tired.
things.
I know we're getting frustrated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bachelor Nation is upset, man.
Yeah, it feels like the listeners of our show and other shows are also feeling that way. Definitely, if you looked on Twitter, like about the rose ceremony, about this, it's all the same stuff. People just sick of it.
Yeah, and
Damn.
it's like also they for sure researched people. Why the hell did Whaboom even get on the show? Like,
yeah,
guys,
it all
do
comes
better.
back to Whaboom.
Yeah.
Do better.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going to say this right away because there's a lot to talk about with Lee, but like, there's no question they didn't know he had those racist tweets.
course.
You mean they did know?
Absolutely.
There's
Or-
no question they didn't know. Or yes, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they for sure knew.
And that's
And-
so
and
screwed up.
That's
so
really
fucked up.
fucked up.
She's a black woman. He's a racist.
Yeah.
He should not be on the show. Like when you think about it like that,
Yeah,
That's
it's like
insane.
it's a groundbreaking season. Finally, they get a woman of color, someone not white, and they give her a racist guy. Like,
Yeah.
ugh,
Yeah, that's a real fuck you to.
come on.
and she has to be like
Intelligent
alone with him
people.
and stuff. It's so screwed up.
Yeah, and
It's fucked.
even just hearing him talk, he was like, at some point, he was like, "I'm here to win." When the people talk about when he's treating it like a competition, he doesn't
Yeah.
care about Rachel. No,
No.
way.
Of course, not.
He's there to get his singing career going, man.
Yeah. Oh God, I hate him.
just-
I hate him so much.
Oh, he calls
Ah.
her ma'am. It's so gross.
One time she said, "Don't call me ma'am. It makes me feel old."
Yeah,
Yeah,
she did say
she
that.
did
Yes.
say
Love
yeah.
that.
Also, I
Uh,
did love when Kenny called Lee alternative facts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I don't want Kenny to punch him in the face because I want him to stick around, I want him to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
want
not
him
what
to-
happens though with that blood.
I know. Oh,
That
I
blood
know.
is like he ran into a door or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Happened. Or
We're not getting fooled with that.
like when Evan nose just started
Yeah.
bleeding because he was nervous.
I won't get fooled again. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Who. Well, once the rose ceremony was over, the gang needed so much needed R&R, so it was off to Hilton Head, South Carolina, where Liv and I recently vacationed.
Yep.
So
Oh.
Liv spent the entire episode saying, "We've been there, we've been there, we've been there."
Well, we've been there.
We have been there. So if anyone has any questions about Hilton Head, South Carolina, let us know.
Hit us up.
We can fill you in. So the date number one went to old Deanie baby.
Yeah.
And they went on a blimp, or as Rachel called it as a child, a bimp.
Oh wait, before we get into this part, we should talk about her big emotional moment she had at the rose ceremony.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's like just an important thing that I really
Totally.
felt for her. In
And that was
yeah.
that was
that
a big
moment.
preseason tease too.
Yeah, it was. And just to see her like to have all these guys, she's just like they don't get that they can fight about whatever they want kind of thing, but she's the one who has the most pressure and will continue to do so.
Yeah, and all these decisions she's making, she's being judged on them basically because she's black, like
Yeah.
which has never happened to another Bachelorette before. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe
Or
the decision
Bachelor.
would be like, oh, you kept some loser, like
Yeah.
big deal. Like now, I mean, she didn't really elaborate, but obviously that's sort
There's
of what she was
definitely
getting
that
at.
added pressure, and that sucks.
Yeah. And then there was a tweet today or yesterday or something from Leah Block saying something like, I walked in on The Bachelorette on the television and I thought I was watching Love and Hip Hop.
Her friend came in
What?
and was like, her friend or roommate or something, I think it was, she said,
Yeah.
came in and sat down and went, "What is this, Love and Hip Hop? Love and Hip Hop?"
And then Rachel tweeted back at her and was like, oh, it looks like Leah Block, or this isn't verbatim, but basically like Leah Block would would fit with Lee.
No, it sounds like your friend might want to meet Lee. Like,
You're
they
like
have
might
a
want
lot
to meet
in
Lee. Like
common.
maybe
man.
that'd be good.
Nice burn.
Yeah, it's like holy shit. I was like into Leah because she was like calling out all the Bachelor contestants that were like crying about shit. But I'm like, oh, go fuck yourself. That's not a cool thing to.
Yeah,
Why
that
would
was
you
the
think that's
one
okay?
cool thing Leah did.
Yeah, it's true. She didn't do any other
Otherwise,
cool
she's
stuff.
been pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Trying to be a part of things and not, but just like I can't. The things people think they can tweet, it just shows you how far back this world actually is. On all this shit.
Exactly.
Yes.
We live in our little urban bubble here where things are by no means perfect, but, we're surrounded by a lot of progressive thinking people. And, for a minute you think, oh, maybe things are going to be all right. And then something like this happens.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, I was just wanted to
No,
touch
that's
on
definitely
her
worth
like
mentioning.
nice moment.
And I hope that once Lee gets booted, which ideally is next week, Rachel can sort of play out the rest of this process. It goes really well, and she doesn't have to worry about that stuff. But I mean, inevitably, something will probably come up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a damn shame.
I hope not, but
yeah.
Okay, so let's get back in.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Was positive. Her date with Dean.
Yeah.
Which is very lovely on the bimp.
Yeah, he was really scared.
He was genuinely scared, and I could relate. I'm scared of heights, and I think I would have reacted similarly on that trip in the bimp.
it's crazy because in the first episode, I thought Dean was so fake. Like, he just seemed like just trying to be charming, just like his
feeding her
autopilot
stuff,
charm and whatever. But in this, he seemed really real.
And he was the only one to speak up about the whole racism from Lee thing. I mean, maybe a bunch of others didn't. They just didn't use it.
Who knows?
This seemed like an episode to really put Dean on a pedestal. But he came out really well.
Well, he said that whole story about his mom.
Yeah, the
So
part
sad.
where he asks his mom when she's coming home and she says never. That was like that was
heartbreaking.
out of a movie. If you wrote that in a script and you showed it to me, I'd be like, I don't know if a woman would actually say that in this situation. So like that's just heart-wrenching. Yeah.
And then
Crazy.
his dad came in and told him, and then I just was like, so they weren't with her, so they just found out at home. Like, I just thought about all this other stuff that you don't always think about in these situations where they tell these stories.
It was like last season with Christina, like her story, and it's like, wow, these are real people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to remember that, but.
And the whole story thing was, this is how they framed the narrative, but it seemed to prove to Rachel that despite Dean being 25, maybe he is mature enough to be able to handle a relationship with Rachel. So, yeah, if we're going by the Yarmo index, Dean still doesn't have a chance in the world, which I still don't think they're going to end up together.
No.
But he made a great impression, and it was really funny when the blimp went by the resort with the sign saying Dean and Rachel inside with like a heart on it.
Forever.
Yeah.
It is
Eric could
forever.
not handle that. Yeah.
Eric can't handle anything.
I love when they were like, it just confirms what I was thinking, man. It just confirms what I was thinking. They're having a good time up there. It's like, yeah, man, they're in a blimp on a date on a TV show. I bet they're having a good time.
And they're having a great time.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Eric is the
fun.
worst person for this situation. It's like he can't have fun unless he is directly in her face. So it just shows you he would be like that in a relationship probably. Like when you're not together, he'd be worrying about what your status is like.
Which is a bad quality.
It's a bad quality.
It's such a turn off. I can't stand Eric either. It's just he's so insecure.
There's
I'm
always
out on
someone who
Eric.
can't handle it, There's always somebody who can't handle it, and
Yeah.
you're right, Sarah. That's like a great indication of what they can or can't handle inside of a relationship. as
Because
well.
this shows you at your worst. It's like a Second City audition, guys. It's super tough, but if you can get through it, then they're gonna see a spark in you, and they're gonna like you if you stay calm. That's their thing, man. They want to see you go through something really hard.
I really think that Rachel despite that, is very attracted to Eric. Like, you can tell physically.
Yeah.
She's very into him. And when her previous girlfriends were on the show, they were saying Rachel was Eric was one of the most guys Rachel was the most excited about. So
And he got that after the final rose pre-intro too.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you go back and watch this episode when they're together, Rachel's got
her body language, her
Yeah.
arms around him, and she's like really showing that she's into him.
Yeah, I think Eric's pretty smooth. I think we've seen a lot of him arguing with Lee and all that shit and him being worried, but I think if you saw more of him with Rachel, you'd be like, "Oh, whoa, he's a front runner." Like I think they get along pretty great.
I find him attractive when he wears regular clothes, but then when he puts on suits, they're ill-fitting.
Yeah, they look
Yeah,
too big.
they're
and
baggy.
Yeah.
He's a personal trainer, so he's probably pretty fit.
Yeah, and it's
like
not
the
that
neck
they
isn't the
can't
right
be
size.
like I don't even I just feel like it's not a choice. Like sometimes bigger suits are a choice, and you're like, okay, that's a bigger suit, but this looks like it's just like hanging off him in a weird way. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work. I don't like it.
I think it's like his neck size is wrong. He picked the wrong shirt,
Yeah,
high, and then it all flows from there, you know?
yeah. He looks like a teen. He feels.
A little bit.
He feels yeah.
Yeah, but then you're right though. When there was I think it must have been was he on the group date? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He was wearing a casual shirt, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
looks great.
He looks good. Yeah.
Hmm.
My favorite part about this group date, guys, was they went on the golf course, and like there was this woman on the golf course,
Yeah.
and she just like posed on her thing, like smiled and waved. It
was like, "Oh."
like really faking it out. This like 50-year-old woman they found on the golf course.
It was probably that they told her and like her husband that they were going to come through
Yeah.
and film, and they couldn't play through the hole, and the husband was really upset, and then they appeased it by being like, well, if your wife wants to be on the show. And
Yeah.
then she was like, "Oh, it's fine. Yeah, let's do that." That's how I kind of picture that.
It was very funny.
Yeah, the group date was, well, I mean, obviously a producer's pick again because it got everyone who hated each other into one date, including Lee and Kenny, who had just fought, along with Peter, Brian, Jonathan, the Tickle Monster, Adam, Matt, Iggy, Eric, Will, and Josiah. And this date was weird because they did the golf, or was the golf thing the intro to Hilton Head? Was it the date?
It was. I think it was like that's where their date was. And I don't know, but golf wasn't involved in it.
No.
And they all ran at her. Like we had someone be like, you guys got to talk about them all stampeding at Rachel. They all just started running at her really fast. Like it wasn't they were running the whole time. They saw her and then everyone ran full force at her. Very weird.
Terrifying.
Well, I'm sure they just had to show the golf course because of the resort.
That's where it was. And
Didn't they go on a boat
Yeah.
or something, or is that a later?
Yeah,
one?
the bulk of the date happened on not the bulk. Half of it happened on the boat where they did all these weird games like a rap contest,
Oh, I
a
hated
limbo,
it. So
the shirts
awkward.
off. It was weird. That was like just a group of men surrounding one woman and trying to gain her attention with no context whatsoever.
Yeah, it was kind of awkward.
And then
Yeah.
I mean, that's when Josiah really started. He brought back his cocky attitude that are turning some people off. Which,
Because I was
mind
into
you,
him at the rose ceremony. I was like, oh, maybe I said it last night. I was like, oh, maybe I'm into Josiah. And then when he got so weird and cocky, I'm like, oh, I hope he loses this competition.
But then when he did the British accent and the sting at the end, it was like,
He and
ooh,
Kenny,
okay.
oh my god.
That was pretty funny. If you didn't watch that, the credits scene, it was
One of my
pretty good.
favorite credit scenes for sure.
I don't think we saw that.
Oh,
No, you guys should
if you
watch it.
can,
It's
you
really
should go back
funny.
and watch it. It's hilarious.
This is the point in the episode where I found out that Jonathan, the Tickle Monster,
Was a doctor.
his nickname in the house also is Tickles,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
I thought-
gross.
Tickle singular.
It's Tickles because they go Tickles, go Tickles,
yeah.
go Tickles. It's like, oh man, go Tickles. I never want to hear that ever again in my life.
Yeah, why is this cool? The one thing I will say, I am happy that they're not just writing bad songs about her when they have alone time. Remember last they wrote
a lot of
so
songs.
many bad songs.
a
It
lot of
was-
coordinated numbers. Although
Yeah.
this time we've had a couple raps already. Who do you think won that rap contest? Kenny or was it Josiah? I don't remember.
I think
Oh, no, it
Kenny. It was Kenny and Peter.
Peter, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, Kenny. Come on,
yeah,
Peter's
Kenny
rap
tried
was
Peter
lame.
called her fell from the hood. Like,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
That
was
was
really
very
weird.
weird. I did not
was
like that
bad.
one bit.
no, me neither. That made me uncomfortable. I
Like
didn't
maybe
like
it's
that.
something that she keeps referring to herself as, in which
That's
case
what I
there's a little bit of a
It's really
context
what she
there.
thinks about it. If she's okay with it, that's fine. But I don't know. Do you really need to go there?
I mean, Bella thinks not.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's saying pretty not cool, right, Bella? That was weird.
Yeah, it was weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in what was a very logical conclusion to a boat date, they had a spelling bee
Oh, yeah.
back on land, which is what you do after you get on a boat, nautical rules. So they did it in the middle of a crowded square of some sort.
Yeah, that's
and-
what we did after our boat trip in that same place.
Yeah,
Remember?
Hilton Head.
You
That's
went to-
right. We
yeah,
did
you
a
went to
spelling
that
bee.
They're
Spelling
like,
bee.
all right, now everyone come to the square and have some strangers watch you do a spelling bee. No problem. We've
And
paid
this-
these people.
This spelling bee fucking sucked because it was so obviously rigged.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
so
bullshit.
obviously rigged. It was
What did
absolutely
Josiah
silly.
get like in the semis? He
Stunning.
got stunning.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking
And-
break.
And Anthony got boutonniere.
And
which
Kenny
is,
got champagne. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not that hard, but it's harder than stunning.
oh,
You should know how
Yeah.
to spell champagne. But
You should
if
know how to spell
don't-
champagne. I thought champagne was like kind of easy, but because think of how many times the word champagne comes up in popular culture. It comes up quite a bit.
I
It
felt
does.
like
Boutonniere I thought was a hard
the
one.
The only one that was genuinely really hard.
Yeah.
A coitus is kind of tough because you
Yeah.
don't see that in writing very often.
True.
Well, as I was
true.
saying, I said to Glenn, we were watching it. They had a lot of French words, but Americans tend to butcher
That's
the
true.
French language.
That's true. We
So-
have that base of
Yeah.
having to learn
Yeah.
French. And, yeah,
But
that's
for
true.
Americans, I could see that being way harder.
Yep,
Totally.
that's true. I didn't even really think about that, but that's a good point.
So Josiah ends up winning, which didn't help his cockiness. And during every word he had to spell, he did sort of a whole spiel, which the guys were getting a little impatient with, and me as a viewer also. But he won that spelling bee cup, and then it was off to the post-date cocktail party that has become just
The
a
after
hotbed.
party?
Yeah, just a hotbed of controversy. Something always happens during this. And of course, in this one, what did we get? We got Iggy spilling the beans again.
Oh yeah,
What
and
is he
then coming
thinking?
and telling after be like, I just talked about you, man.
Like,
It came
sorry,
up.
like, man.
Sorry, and they were right. Like that doesn't make it okay. You're such a loser.
It's
Yeah.
so brutal.
He sucks.
It's embarrassing.
He is not as good as Iggy from Under the Umbrella Tree. I'll tell you
No,
that
certainly
much.
not.
Iggy Under
He's
the
also no Jerome McGinley.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
So, Under the Umbrella Tree is a Canadian kids television show that we had when we were kids, and there was this cool iguana named Iggy who I guess lived under the umbrella tree. I don't know, but he's much cooler than this Iggy. That's
Way
for
cooler
sure.
than this Iggy. This is one of the worst Iggy's, if not the worst Iggy I've ever come across.
I think
Yeah.
it might be the worst.
Yeah,
Eric rightfully called him a gossip queen. I think it was maybe Josiah talking about how he injected steroids directly into his nuts.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Didn't he say he had? And then he said like Iggy admitted that.
Yeah,
that
it was
he said
Iggy who
he
said it.
told
Yeah.
him that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What a cool reveal. Oh, I have a secret. I put steroids in my nuts.
Yeah, you put 'em right
I
in your
guess
nuts,
his nuts
dude.
are huge.
It's
then.
even better.
I thought steroids made your nuts
They
shrink.
shrivel your nuts. That's
Maybe
what,
he
Yeah,
thought
that's the
if
word
I
on the
put them
street.
in the nut, then maybe it will get bigger.
Yeah.
Someone told him that's how you do it, and
Yeah.
that's what he's been doing ever
Yeah.
since.
And I mean, hey, Josiah, he's rubbed me the wrong way a few times. We talked about this off the top, but I think generally speaking, I think he seems like a good enough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much better than Iggy, I'll
He's
tell you
not
that
the
much.
worst. He's,
He's
definitely
not as bad as I
He's a
thought
little
he was.
obnoxious, I suppose, but like
Yeah.
he doesn't seem that bad.
No.
I'm telling you, you watch this thing at the end of the credits, it'll
Oh.
like completely erase everything you thought of him throughout that whole episode.
It's
You know-
wonderful.
You know what I like about Josiah is that the things he does that are obnoxious aren't really like to any like don't really hurt anyone else or put anyone
That's
else
true.
down.
Yeah. Good point.
They're a little bit obnoxious just because of the way he acts, but even then, he does it with like a smile on his face. He's not. You can tell he doesn't take himself super seriously,
Yeah.
even when he's saying that stuff. Whereas like a guy like DeMario was taking himself very seriously. I thought when he was doing his bragging spiel, right? Like, but I
Right.
think like Josiah's was a bit more like put on as like I don't know.
I also think there's a difference between
Bravado.
people who, like, everyone does stuff out of insecurity. Everyone has insecurities. But when some guys do it purely from insecurity, like, that's where their
Yeah.
shittiness is coming from. Like, Iggy's shittiness is coming purely from the fact that he's insecure and he wants all the other guys to look
Yeah.
shit. And so
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I'll do this and she'll like me more. And
He also has
Eric's
that-
all his insecurities and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
think Josiah thinks he's pretty great. But also when he's not and it gets... remember the first episode? He's like, I was wrong.
Yes, that's true. He
I
did,
was
like,
totally wrong.
immediately
I love
admit he
that.
was wrong, right?
Yeah, so I think he's he's confident enough in himself that when he is wrong, he's like, all right. Like, I bet if he lost the thing, he wouldn't have been mad.
Yes, yeah.
When
yeah.
some guys
Yeah.
would have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that
And
comes
all-
with taking yourself seriously
Yeah.
and or having a sense of humor about yourself.
All these guys are uber competitive.
Yeah, real
they'd have to
competitive
be,
bunch.
right? And when you get a bunch of guys like that, as they mentioned on the show, a bunch of alpha males, some people react like that. They're like, well, I gotta step up. I gotta be the winner here. Like I'm gonna act the way I act, and I'm gonna make it happen. And I mean, hey, man, Josiah's still on the show.
Iggy's thing, though, about him, like, I'm just so protective of you.
Weird.
It's like, you...
Don't need to be.
First of all, you don't need to be.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Please.
Everything's fine here. But also, she's like, friggin', she's an adult. She's an adult woman. She'll be fine. But, like, way to make yourself seem like her big brother, you idiot.
No. It's just so condescending. and
It's so
stupid.
condescending. It's so insulting. I hate it.
No, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, are all of these guys predators? No.
Yeah, like, what
What
Can
do
she
you
not
mean?
fend for herself?
Yeah.
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 So frustrating.
Unreal.
So that wasn't enough. The more drama was to come at this after party when Lee told Rachel
Because
that
she inquired. She did inquire. That is one thing. She did
That's
ask
true.
him about it.
She did ask what was going on,
Yeah.
and Lee said that Kenny had basically cornered him and yelled at him, and he
It
was
was way too aggressive.
he was an
Yeah.
angel, et cetera, et cetera. So then Rachel took that to Kenny. Kenny calmly explains exactly what happened, which is what we saw, and we mentioned before, did an incredible job at summing up the whole thing. And then it kind of blew up from there. Kenny got rightfully pissed at Lee. And he called him a reptilian piece of garbage, which I love.
Yep.
Conspiracy theory confirmed, right?
Yeah, and then when he said reptilian, I'm like, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist, and he thinks he is a reptilian that is a shapeshifter, and in fact is not actually that human skin is not his actual skin, and he thinks Lee is actually a
Tribally.
reptilian.
I could see that.
I can
Yeah.
see him having a forked tongue of some type.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
have to see his eyes. If they start flipping around, if
flicker.
Lee's eyes start like turning into slits, he's
Yeah,
a
and-
reptilian from outer space.
As far as I know, most reptiles don't grow hair, and Lee's hair looks so fake.
Yeah,
It would be safe to assume that would be implanted in some sort of reptilian
Yeah.
process to appear more human.
yeah. I think what
about that.
Rachel needs to look for is him running off into the corner and like pushing his skin back on as if it's fallen off or something, or
Also, just be on the lookout for, like, if his leg or arm is like chopped off or something, and if it starts
grows
growing back. If
it starts growing back, or
you
you
got a
know if he's got
problem
a tail. If you see that
Sure, if
tail,
there is that tail popping out there, you're gonna
he
have
is
to
in fact an alien.
put two and two together
Yeah.
at that point.
Is he eating bugs?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
that's an easy
You know,
one.
That's a simple one usually.
Yeah.
That's a big, easy
So
slip
that's going to
up.
be alarming no matter what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we also got to say, Liv loved this line from Lee when he said, "I didn't sign up for this to come here to make
It's
friends."
like, oh, so you're not saying you're not here to make friends. That's completely different.
I didn't sign up for this to come here
It's a two-step
to make
process.
friends. So I didn't.
You're not saying you're not here to make friends,
Yeah,
but you didn't sign up for this to come here to make friends.
so weird.
Oh man. Yeah. What else did I want to say about Lee? Oh yeah, everyone was supporting Kenny. Like
Yeah.
Dean.
Yeah.
Dean was saying this guy's a
Everyone.
fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody,
I love how Dean hates him.
Peter
I
was
love
like,
how much Dean
and
hates
Peter
him.
was like, I'm tired of this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see them all at the bar, and he was like flying high, like
He was
ordering
wasted.
champagne.
You could tell
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
wasted.
Lee was
yeah.
wasted.
My fantasy was for Kenny to come up behind him and slam his head into the bar
Yep.
and just walk away.
Yeah,
Take
you-
off his mic, throw it away, walk into the sunset. That's all we see. Yeah.
And also, like, I gotta say though, Kenny's like, I can't give into it. Then why did he take him away and chat with him? Like, you don't need to do that. Like, it's the kind of guy where it's like, you've talked to Rachel.
Yeah.
He is the way he is. You're just giving. He
I
wants this from
I
you. This is what he wants.
think he's going to apologize. I think
Oh, I
he's-
hope not.
I know. I think.
Oh.
Ooh,
I
the
think-
Oh,
trickery.
that was weird
yeah.
when Rachel asked him, "Have you He said he did already.
Yeah, he did
That's
say
true.
that.
He did say he
that,
did
yeah.
already. So I don't think
I just feel like what we're gonna see out of Kenny here is something that's like is gonna like quell the situation more
Like a
than
peacemaking mission.
Yeah, that's what I think it
Yeah.
is. I really do. I think he's.
I hope so, for Kenny's sake.
I felt
Yeah, well, I
bad
think
for-
the talk with Rachel, and I think he knows he's not going to get like sucked back into it with him because he, like you said before, it's like he knew he's like, oh man, why did I fall for that? I let this guy get to me. I don't think he's going to let him get to him anymore. I think he's just going to like say, all right, man, like sorry, and then just kind of move on with it. He's smart. I think he knows he's getting sucked in. He can't. But then again, they show the 2-on-1, and it looks like Kenny's ready to suplex him through a tree trunk. Like,
Yeah, I mean, Kenny also said he felt Rachel's body language was very much in Lee's corner, which I felt
Right,
bad
yeah.
for him about that. But I mean, he's got the support of the guys.
neither of them are going to win, I don't think. As sadly,
No.
I want Kenny to win. I think they would be a good match if none of this shit happened. But this shit happened, and now she sees him in a different light. When she has these other relationships now that are easy, and when she was even talking to, was it Dean? And he's like, I don't even want to talk about this. Or no, that was the penguin guy. Who was the guy that was like,
Dark
I don't
Horse.
I don't
it
even
was
want
Brian.
Brian.
I think it was
Brian.
Brian, yeah.
So you have Brian, who you've already made out with a bunch, and you're very sexually into, being like, I don't care about this stuff. Let's not worry about it. It's like, you just like them even more at that point when you have
That's
these
the right
two
move.
guys
That's-
yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Perfect way to handle
Yeah,
it.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you, Brian's playing a perfect game so far.
He is.
He's
Oh, yes.
smooth. And it was interesting to see him be the one to talk about Dean's age because he's on the exact other end of the
Opposite.
Yarmo scale or index.
Brian's
He's
the
the oldest,
oldest,
Dean's the
yeah.
youngest.
Yep.
He's 37, right?
Really,
Rachel
because
did say that she was
Liked his
worried
age.
about how smooth Brian was, though.
Right. She's justified.
it's weird, man. It's weird because Brian to me seems a lot younger, whereas Dean
Yeah.
seems a lot older. Once you hear him talk, right? I mean, you can tell Dean's a young man just because of the way
Yeah,
he looks.
definitely.
I also just want to talk about my love for Alex.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
cover Alex real quick.
I
here.
love Alex so much, and I am dying. I'm hoping now that it is coming back, and hopefully it's not creepy and weird, this show, Bachelor in Paradise. But if all is well, I hope Alex is on it so bad. Because him and Alex should get together. That's her name, Alexis.
Oh, Alexis and
Alexa.
Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'd be great together.
They got to get together. They
I just hope-
got to get together.
We need Alex. He also needs a bit of a makeover. His hair I don't love, and his styling is a
No.
little loud sometimes.
I'm kind of into it, though. I'm like, he has these
Yeah,
weird
that's true.
clothes. Like, at least
Sure,
he's
yeah.
different. He's
apparently
weird.
he's genuinely pretty funny. Apparently we should check out his YouTube channel.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
No
hey, I'm
problem.
open to it. I'll give him a shot.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I would love to just give not last week's, the one before, when I talked about Married at First Sight, Second Chances. I got a lot of response. We have a lot of listeners that are also watching that show. So, guys, tell me what you think. I barely remember anyone's name, even though I do watch it every week. I do know Vanessa's name. She's the girl on it looking for love, and I think she'll be with Miles. I think that's his name.
Quit hijacking our podcast.
And
here.
then
This is a real shoehorn. here.
it is. And then the other guy, the guy looking for love, don't remember his name, but that girl that's younger, she's not into him. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. That's it. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you agree with it. I got a lot of response. I got tweets personally to me from people who watch the show. It is just the cheaper Bachelor. So if anybody's like, you know what, I want more kind of Bachelor where people just are in their hometown dating people and they have to go to their house to break up with them every week.
Sounds all right.
Go watch it.
I'll watch a couple
The,
breakups.
the neat thing about it, I will say, is that there's therapists on it that help them the whole time. Which
Yeah,
I
this
think
would be
would be nice on The
therapists.
Bachelor.
Yeah, they should have an in-house therapist.
They
That'd be great.
should.
Well, on Unreal they do, but she's corrupt.
Oh,
la,
yeah,
la.
that's
Is
right.
corruptible.
Cropped a bowl.
That's right. I saw a couple episodes of that guy. Yeah. So
Well, that's a good plug.
Yeah.
What channel's that on?
that's on.
Lifetime. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Unreal.
No,
no,
it's
but-
on.
Sorry.
It's on that weird channel. It's on like it's like only reality shows, and it's called like it's from Lifetime, but they're like secondary shittier channel that had like the Lauren and Ben show was on it.
Oh, that thing. Okay.
Yeah.
You can find it streaming.
You just
on most
stream
of
it,
the- on most
guys.
of the
Get on
streaming
it. I
sites.
fast forward through half of the episode just to get to the end. Their dates are the worst. It's like they're always going to like Jack Astor's for meals. It's really brutal. And I think they pay for it all themselves. And then, yeah, but I do watch it.
But I do watch it.
I do for sure watch it.
I'll tell you, we certainly fast forward through the Dean Rachel date at the Russell Dickerson concert.
Blech.
It's so
Yeah.
awkward when they're like up on a pedestal above
I know.
everybody, like
The worst.
hugging and kissing and.
Well,
and I
when
want-
do we not fast forward that part?
We never don't
We
do
never watch it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was boring as hell. Whatever. Some unknown country artist singing in like the town square of wherever they are.
Do we have like
Okay.
No, thanks.
all Skype chat coming up for our Patreon users?
We do.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
right. We haven't set a
We have to make a date
hard
that
date
works
on
with
that, but we'll have to
everybody.
figure out a date for that to work. Yeah.
I didn't mean to segue into Patreon, but if you do want to
Yeah. If you want to help support the show,
help support the show,
you can do
It's
that.
available.
it's
Yeah,
available.
it is available. and
Is
you
it on
get
our
cool
website?
perks.
It's on our
Oh,
website.
yeah, it's on the website.
Yeah, there's perks. Go check it out. Patreon.com/thebachelorpod. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys, I think it might be this time of the season. What are we thinking Bachelor radar? Who might be the heir apparent here to Rachel?
Good
I'm
question.
very much liking the way. This
It's
is the
Dean
thing.
or Peter.
I was watching
Yeah,
it,
if
and
Peter doesn't win, it's Peter.
I think they're giving Dean a Bachelor
Yeah.
edit. That's what I
He's
think.
he's perfect for it, really. And I hate to say it, but I don't think there's any chance in hell they're going to put two persons of color back to back.
Sadly,
They're just
I
not-
agree.
Because
They're
I
just
would
not
like
cool
it to
like
be
that.
Anthony, because you're not
I,
seeing.
oh God, I
That
love
would be
Anthony.
amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think like I love their last week, but they're not showing them a lot. But you know what? He could still win because they didn't
Sometimes
show
it's the
Vanessa
ones
at
they
all.
Don't show for the first half
Yeah.
or whatever.
They didn't
and
show
then
Vanessa at all through that
Nope.
season. The whole season, you barely saw her. Just
But we
on
all
John
dates.
and
knew.
Catherine,
We
too.
all
You
knew
never
right off the
saw
top.
her.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
hoping
feel like
it's
it's wishful
Anthony.
thinking for anything involving Kenny at this point. But like,
No, he'll be out too soon.
the 2-1,
He won't be
the
in
two
the
and
top
ones
four.
is his nail in the coffin. I think if they didn't have him on that, I think it would have been okay. But yeah, he's getting too into that. I think.
He's gotten into the friend
But wouldn't it have been
zone.
fun to see him be the Bachelor? I think he'd be a fantastic Bachelor.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
he'd be so
He'd be
funny.
great.
He has personality.
He's got big personality. You know.
Yeah,
he's-
the dates would be awesome.
I think it would be a wicked. Like I really think he'd be the best. I just
Yeah.
love Kenny. What am I talking about?
I know, me
Pretty boy,
too.
Pitbull.
The
Kenny.
pretty boy Pitbull.
Yeah, man. I think he'd be great.
Okay, so yeah, I kind of agree with you though. I think that the smart money is on Dean, but we'll see. We'll every week we'll sort of keep our eye out for that, as I'm sure you guys do at home.
It sounds
Yeah.
like Dean would be good too, though, right? Like, just
I
judging
love
from this
Dean.
past episode, I think he'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
And I have no other gossip right now because of Bachelor in Paradise is all the gossip.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
been
just-
like taking over the Bachelor universe, and everybody's been talking about it in the Bachelor universe. Oh, one thing that's kind of not gossip, but it's kind of just scary. The woman who was the first Bachelorette, I always forget her name. Trista was on a trip in Europe and had a really, really bad seizure. I think on top of her daughter.
ugh.
Like she was with her daughter somewhere, and on top of her
Yikes.
daughter, she had a seizure and had to go to the hospital in Europe. But they got
Yikes.
to finish their trip, and she's okay. But scary news. Scary.
That is scary
Wow.
news.
Go to the
I'm just
doctor.
checking out the Bachelor subreddit right now to see if there's any late breaking news, but it looks like everything's sort of where it was when we started this. So
One
Yeah.
detail I'll give about that is out there that Universal met privately with DeMario's
Not
lawyer.
Universal, Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers
Yeah.
met privately with DeMario's lawyer, but they don't know if they did that with Corinne's.
Interesting.
So it's interesting. I wonder why. I wonder if
Yeah.
they're like, we screwed up. We have to deal with this. Like, we called this guy out of being a sexual predator. Or they're like, paying everybody off so they can still have the show. What's going on?
which is also possible.
Which is
yeah.
also possible for sure.
So many unanswered questions.
Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, this whole thing. Yeah, It's hard. It's hard really to give any kind of.
Send us any
perspective on it.
information you have, everybody, that we have not covered, because
Yeah.
there's information flying out everywhere, and we don't have it all for sure.
That's true. Are we? We're done. We've recapped everything,
we're
right?
Yeah.
feeling
Jack
pretty
Stone's
good at-
about to get a one-on-one, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, and let's not forget Lee trying to get into his head during that when he got the date card, which
Oh,
was
yeah,
like
brutal.
what a shithead move.
Yeah.
Why wasn't some? Maybe they did, but why isn't someone like, "Hey Lee, fuck you"?
Hey Lee,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, wait,
What did he
you're
say?
telling me you don't want to have a one-on-one date?
Yeah, what
He-
did he say?
He said there's a lot of pressure on these early one-on-ones. You can just as easily get sent home as you can get a rose. Like Rachel will want to send people home on one-on-ones.
What an asshole.
It's just talking shit. It's not even true. That's the other thing. This
It's
guy
usually
doesn't
at
know
the end
anything
that
about.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
so rarely
This guy doesn't know
happens that
anything
are
about the
at
show.
Ugh,
Yeah.
hate him.
One thing I want everyone to look out for, I don't want to spoil it for everyone, but if you do want a spoiler of someone that does get kicked off the show and ends up on Bachelor in Paradise, there is a picture floating around of when someone saw them all at the airport after they got sent back from Mexico, and one of the guys that is still currently on the show is in the picture. But
Yeah.
I don't
I
want
saw
to.
that,
I don't want to screw it up
unfortunately.
I'm sure everyone knows, but it's not up to me to screw it up. So,
Right. Yeah.
but check it out if you want a spoiler.
Okay.
And you know what? We found out Reality Steve doesn't know everything.
Doesn't know everything. Sometimes he's wrong about things. It turns
Sometimes
out.
he's wrong about stuff.
And as you saw with our scoop, sometimes so are we.
So are we. Our full
Yeah.
scoop. Maybe our scoop was complete garbage. We don't know.
we thought we had a trusted source, and well, maybe we didn't.
I'm trying to get a follow-up on that, so
Yeah.
we'll
Cool.
maybe
tuned.
we'll get some juice. Who
Yeah, that'd
knows?
be great.
Speaking of, we got a quick round of our Instagram game here.
Okay.
I'm gonna say if you listened to last week's episode, you know about the Instagram game. You guess how many followers a Bachelor personality has, and it's Price is Right style. So you can't go over.
Yeah.
So last week, Sarah did quite well.
But I didn't win. I was closer, but Liv won because
Liv
she never
ended
went
up-
over.
No, she never went over. Exactly. Did quite well. So here we
And
go.
that's
We got
the rule.
we got a couple right here. We're gonna do best two out of. Well, I guess we'll just see who does the best in these three.
Yeah.
I've got right here in front of me my boy Derek Peth. What are we thinking
Ooh,
about?
that's hard.
As far as Instagram followers and Derek Peth.
Derek Peth. Okay.
I'm going to say he's got 25,000.
You got yours?
I'm gonna go 50.
I think it's lower. I think it's more like 15.
And Liv is right again.
Whoa!
He has 68.3 thousand followers.
I think
Peth,
Bachelor
I'm
in
pretty
Paradise has
surprised.
probably popped him up more than
Bachelor
I
in
thought it
Paradise
had.
may well have
Damn.
popped him up a little bit. Okay. Now, we've done a lot of talking about her, and hopefully she's doing better these days. But Corinne Olympios. Let's see how many does Corinne have?
I forget what the ceiling was last time.
Over 1 million.
Do you know which
Yeah.
one she is?
Yeah.
Sarah, is this her?
Okay, I'll start. I'll say
No, that's not her.
1.3
Whoa.
mil.
Okay. 800,000.
Ooh. Sarah?
I'm going to go for 9.
So you said 900,000. Glenn, what'd you say again?
1.3.
And Liv says,
800,000.
okay. Here it is. She has 779,000 followers.
Ooh.
Damn.
That's a big win for
Nobody.
nobody.
No, nobody.
Everyone's over. Okay. Okay. Who's a good one that we can do here? Oh, okay. I got one. You guys can feel free to talk while I look
Oh,
up.
Yeah,
the
we're
number.
gonna
okay,
say
yeah.
Dead air. Can't have that.
Yeah, dead air. No dead air.
No.
There's also rumors going around that Corinne did kiss Nick and Derek Peth as well that night. That is a
Yeah, I
rumor.
remember reading something like that too. Yeah, that she would
Which is
not
like-
stop at DeMario, which
Which
doesn't really
kind-
mean anything.
What sucks for me about this is like people are treating that like, well, she did this too, and I'm like, everybody
Yeah.
does that on that show.
Yeah,
That's what that
as
show
if
is
that hasn't
about. But
happened
it's never gotten creepy before, so that's what we're looking at. That's what the problem is. Who cares how many people she kissed before?
Okay.
Doesn't matter at all.
No.
Okay, to make up for the everyone's over, we got a new one. This one is the PA, Lacey Mark.
I thought we did this last time.
Okay.
Did we do
Wait.
the PA? No, we didn't. We I think we did the PA before, like way
okay.
before.
I'm gonna say. Oh, you guys go first. I don't know yet. Hey, Glenn has to go first this time. Or wait, who went first last time?
Liv's got to go first. I think
Liv's
I went
gotta go
Okay,
first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 200,000.
Okay.
I'll say 125.
I'm saying we got.
You gonna go with $1?
I can go 45,000.
Might as well say $1 at that point.
I don't think she's as big as Derek.
You guys are all over. It's 11,000.
Whoa.
11.7
What a dud.
thousand. What a true dud. Okay, well, on the same Lacey train.
You want to know what's funny about this is I gotta say this. I don't mean to spoil this for anybody, but who knows how they're gonna if they might just start anew anyways. But when Corinne posted a picture the first week after she got back, so had Lacey Mark the thing.
Yeah,
So they're like
the
they
PA.
got kicked out first, but then we find out that Corinne had to leave because she had to leave before everybody else. But I think that means that Lacey actually got kicked out first.
Yeah.
Well,
And
everyone had-
nobody's been talking about it because she was for sure home before everybody else.
Well, everyone had their coffee at that point, and
Yeah.
there's just no point. I mean, it's a very hot climate down there,
Yeah.
Lacey, honey, can you get us some towels? All the towels are here. Oh, right. Okay, thank you. You
Yeah.
can go home. What about Lacey Fadul?
I'm going to say 100,000.
I'm going to go higher. I'm going to say 103.
Aw.
103 million?
No.
No,
What is
103,000.
103?
Oh, okay. So 30,000 above me.
All right.
3,000.
Well, I'm gonna say 200,000 again.
She's going to go 200,000. Sarah, you said just 100,000, right?
Yeah.
Glenn just steals it from you. It's 100.
Oh,
It's 186,000. So anything over Sarah's would have done it basically.
Damn.
So that's one for Glenn. That's one for Liv. Let's see who gets the last one. Will it be a tie or will it be a win? I think I know who I'm going with here.
I'm going to do it next time, then you have to play.
Okay. Yes.
next
Okay.
week.
Sure. No
Good
problem.
idea.
Let's go with. Let's see if this guy has one.
I kept beating Andy in this game at home, but I'm not
Oh yeah,
doing as well.
Sarah's way
this
better at it than I am. Okay, guys, what about Diggy, our boy? We saw him leave this week. We're a little sad about it. How many followers does Diggy Moreland have? I'll tell you right now.
Don't say
Okay,
anything.
no hints. All right, I'll give you. No
I
hints.
think it's 3,500.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm going low.
Whoa. All right. 20,000.
No way. No way in hell.
10.
Sarah Hillier with 10.4 thousand followers. That's what Diggy
Oh.
Moreland has. Sarah nails it. That's a 3-way tie.
Ooh.
take that.
All right.
Great.
Great job, guys.
Now
great
we all
stuff.
have to kiss the next time we see each other. Cool. Cool
rule.
rules,
Yeah.
Andy.
You three have
Yeah,
to kiss, not me.
yeah.
I'm the
yeah,
game
no,
show
just
host.
us
Yeah,
three, for sure.
No problem.
Cool.
Great.
Cool, cool, cool.
Great. Cool. For sure. Guys, that's the end of the show. Big week. Big month really going on with Bachelor Nation, and
At least we'll get to talk to everybody through the summer.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
nice.
And so patrons, look out. We're gonna have our end of the hangout date coming up very shortly. It'll be sometime within the next
And which
week or
patrons
so.
get to do that? How much?
The patrons,
Everybody?
the $2 patrons.
The $2 patrons.
Yeah,
That's a low price to get in on this exclusive conversation.
that's
Last
right.
time we had some fun chats.
We sure did.
was
We,
fun.
we really did. We had a
That's
blast.
how we got our. I think that's when we really got into the chili, and that's how we ended up with our chili, wasn't it?
Yeah,
think
let's
so.
get a quick
Food hussy.
chili update. You guys finally, because you came back from LA, you
Yes.
finally got to try your chili. Guys, what do you think?
I love it.
Cincinnati chili. Yeah.
It's very good, a very fun way to do it. Also, though, does give me heartburn almost immediately.
It'll give you that
after eating it.
heartburn. Yeah, it'll give you that heartburn. It is
Yeah.
very good though.
Yeah.
Thank you very much again,
Food Hussy.
Food Hussy, hitting us up with that.
If
we
anyone
still
has
have a
any other
can.
things you want us to try, I want to try
Yeah, we'll
everything.
try
That's right.
Sure.
We'll try
got-
whatever.
If you got a regional specialty you think we dig, send it over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, guys. This was a good one. We'll see you guys all next week. Patrons, we'll get at you on like through the Patreon messages for that kind of stuff. But otherwise, we'll see everyone next time for the double episode.
Oof.
Bye.
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 If you want to contact us, you can reach out to us on social media. We're at The Bachelor Pod on Twitter, and individually, we're at Andy Holbone,
At Glenn McCauley.
At Olivia McCauley.
At the Sarah Hillier, that's at sign THESARAHHILIER.
If you want to support the show directly, you can go to patreon.com/thebachelorpod and donate there. Otherwise, we're thebachelorpod@gmail.com for an email, and thebachelorpod.ca, that's our website.